Hey everyone, welcome to the Westley Warriors Show. The aim of this program is to give us the opportunity to tell stories with one another and use them as tools of empowerment to confront hate and ignorance in our everyday lives. Please note that these stories are for entertainment and educational purposes only. These are not substitutes for professional legal, medical, or financial advice. Enjoy the show. Hello again. Today I have a former classmate from high school, Beverly Rotenberg, joining me. She is a piano enthusiast, dancer, and is passionate about pop punk music. I first saw her talent for myself when I got together with her and another classmate 12 years ago. We briefly went over her house after a hike and she played a song on her piano to pass the time. Some of the funny stories I used to type in Microsoft Word back in high school are fictitious mysteries we would solve under the aliases Sherlock Westley and Detective Beverly. In today's episode, we have a real mystery on our hands. It'll be perplexing to solve, but it won't stop us from looking for clues. Welcome, Beverly.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you.
Good to see you again. Please tell me more about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm living in Washington State. Here I opened my own business. I have a music school. We have four teachers at the music school. We teach all sorts of instruments, piano, guitar, ukulele, singing, drums. Um, Super fun. I love animals. I have some pets myself. And recently I started making shadow boxes and I'm selling those at some craft fairs.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're it sounds like you're having a fulfilling career and hobbies.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
You're welcome. What was it like to see Green Day perform American Idiot live?
I did see Green Day live a couple years ago. It was amazing. They were so good. I think they played two albums from start to finish. And yeah, I mean, it was a 10 out of 10 show.
Awesome. And why is the song relevant to surviving Trump's America?
It's very relevant. Fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, when I still lived in Connecticut the year before I moved to Washington, I was in the play musical American Idiot, which have you heard of it?
Not not the musical.
So, they turned the album American Idiot into a musical. And it has to do a lot with what the album is about. Um, And yeah, it was super fun. So it was really fun to be in that musical, see the show. And then when they played at the halftime, or not the halftime show, but the Super Bowl when they opened, it was really great.
It's really empowering too.
Yeah.
Don't want to be an American idiot. I'm not part of the Elon agenda. Welcome to a new kind of tension all across the alien nation where everything isn't meant to be okay. Television dreams of tomorrow. And I forgot the rest.
That was good. Yeah. I mean, I think you got it there.
Do you agree that music is a form of rebellion?
Absolutely. I think it's one of the strongest forms of rebellion. It's been used for centuries. And yeah, I love to see Green Day use it. An artist that I've been very into that has a lot of political songs is Jesse Wells. Have you heard of that artist?
I haven't. Tell me more.
Jesse Wells, they're a folk artist. It's pretty much just him and his guitar, and he has a lot of really beautifully poetic lyrics that have to do with these trying political times. Um, I'll send you a link. Oh, there's my dogs barking. I'll send you a link to some of his songs.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, especially, even though she hasn't put out as many political songs, the most profound of them were in her Lover album. In there she had two songs, You Need to Calm Down and Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, the latter, which was the opener at the Eras tour. Personally, she should have played the whole thing live.
You wish she played the whole thing live. Yeah. Um, hoping my dog stopped barking. Um, yeah, so yeah, what do you think about Taylor's political songs? She doesn't say too much about politics.
I'd like to think that she makes differences in ways that people either don't report intentionally or unintentionally. Last December, she gave a lot to food banks, which I can never do for the life of me because money's tight. But I strive to be like her, in which I can give back in little ways that I can.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice. And sometimes, like, you don't even have to give money, just giving like a can of food or something if you have a little extra. Um, I've found that one of the most important things is being involved in your community. Um, being there for your neighbors is really important right now, especially with ICE. Um, they're kind of attacking our neighbors. So being in our community, knowing our neighbors and our community members, and just seeing how we can be there for each other. And sometimes it's not money, it's not compensation, it's just being there to talk to one another.
Yes, networking is key,
Mm-hmm.
especially in protests.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking of protests, have you ever seen Avril Lavigne perform on tour before? If you haven't yet, would you want to?
I have. Yes. I saw her, I think she was opening for the Jonas Brothers.
Ooh.
Yeah, probably like 2010. So a while ago.
I saw her perform twice when she was the headliner on her own tour. Once was in August, was in the August before in Hartford. It was at an amphitheater, and the up and last June in Bethel, New York, at the Performing Arts Museum. She had Simple Plan open for her.
How was the show?
It was incredible. Even though Avro isn't very vocal politically, she's been vocal about her struggles with Lyme disease, and even advocates for those with special needs.
That's really nice. I didn't know that.
One song she did called Bite Me could be a protest song. In the chorus, she sings, Hey, you should have known better than to fuck with someone like me. Hey, you, forever and ever, you're gonna wish I was your wifey. Should have held on, should have treated me right. I gave you one chance, you don't get it twice. Hey, and we'll be together never, so baby, you can bite me. I look forward to playing that song when we finally have Trump out of the White House.
Yeah, that is a really good aspiration, and I hope that we get there.
But it's easier said than done because in what ways has social media become increasingly dangerous for marginalized youth?
Oh, interesting question. Um, I mean, social media seems to have become more dangerous, especially for Gen Zers. A lot of them seem to be like in the manosphere, kind of politically swayed. And I think a lot of it stems from loneliness, which is why, I go back to community so important so we don't feel alone. Because when you're alone and you're vulnerable and you come across a video of a guy telling you what you need to do to have all the things you want in life, it's easy to be swayed.
And that's the sad thing about people that look up to Charlie Kirk. I know a couple people that do for genuine reasons, but he was so charismatic and so easily likable that it's easy to overlook the dangerous and hurtful aspects of his beliefs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was very charismatic and he was a good speaker. Um, and people like him, they also speak in a way where it seems like it's definitive. Like they're just saying an opinion, but they say it like it's a fact. Um, and if you don't know the facts and you don't know any better, why wouldn't you believe somebody who's so confident?
Confidence is key, and that can either be good or bad depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that brings me to my next question. How can we stop ourselves from believing a post we see at face value, especially if the source is coming from a MAGA account or a public speaker?
Yeah, that's another good question because especially in the age of AI, there's so much misinformation out there. So it's always good to check the sources, look at other sources. I like to say do your own research. I think MAGA sometimes uses that phrase for their own agenda. But it is good to research topics to see what's true and what's not.
I bet they'll still say that even after we've actually done our research. For me, I read an article on the BBC as often as I can.
That's great. Yeah.
Have you ever had friends and colleagues turn against you over their loyalty to right-leaning figures?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. And I wouldn't say turn against me. I would more say that they've gone really far down a rabbit hole that they can't really see the sky anymore. And they don't even want to see it. And it's sad and it's scary. You can't really though reason with people who are committed to being unreasonable. Um, so I don't think it's them turning against me. I think it's them just being so lost in the sauce that they can't find their way out.
Right. When I shared a post about Charlie Kirk, I had a couple of people disagreeing with me, but not to the point where they unfriend me, block me, etc. But I did have a RA that wasn't. I did have an RA from the dormitory that I stayed at when I went to Eastern Connecticut State University that said he was going to unfriend me because of my anti-Trump post, and then he went on a tangent before I blocked him. So why not just beat him to the punch?
Yeah, how did that make you feel?
It was a very harrowing memory. It made me realize how close to home this has hit.
Yeah, and do you have any friends or family members that are on the opposite political aisle of you? And if so, how do you handle that?
I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few. And for me, I handle it by keeping my mouth shut and avoiding them as much as I can. When I go to the Jersey Shore, mostly I take walks on the beach and sometimes befriend the lifeguard.
Yeah, that's that's nice that you befriend a lifeguard on the beach.
On Facebook, I'm a bit more selective about what I share, mostly because I have this sinking feeling that this threat of being unfriended, blocked, ostracized will happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, and And it might. I think for me, I find it important to have those hard conversations with people. I would say, not my immediate family, but I have a lot of family members that are MAGA. Um, Half my family's from the South. And with them, it's my instinct is to delete them and not talk about it because it's upsetting. But I remind myself that if I do that, I actually believe what MAGA wants. They want us to be against each other while they hoard all the wealth, while they destroy the planet, and they continue to set the system up for us to fail. And we're too busy fighting each other while they are like the puppet masters. So even if it's hard, I try and stay connected to those members, even if I don't agree with them, because I believe we are not each other's enemies. I think we all have a common enemy, and it's the top 1%, it's the billionaires.
When you put it that way, it sort of feels like what this goes back to the whole rabbit hole thing, this whole rabbit hole comparison, co- compare the whole, this goes back to the whole rabbit hole comparison where someone ends up in Wonderland, but they never escape it.
Yeah.
In the Disney
Mhm.
movie, in the Disney movie, in some adaptations of Alice in Wonderland, it was just a dream. But when you put it like that, it's like a dream that they can never wake up from.
It's true. Yeah. And it's sad to see.
What was your reaction to Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, and SZA condemning the Trump administration's use of their music in propaganda videos?
I was very happy to see that. I love seeing celebrities speak their mind and speak their opinions. Um, I think it's really important, especially because they have a lot of sway. And yeah, I really appreciated it.
Me too. The White House pounced back. The White House bit back, but their words and their statements matter much, much more, and that's the most important thing.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
as much as I want a response from Taylor Swift, I can see why she's been quiet too, she because because she canceled several shows and she canceled her entire European leg in Vienna, Austria, over threats of the venue getting bombed. And two little girls, if I remember correctly, were fatally killed not long before one of her concerts in the UK. And the most charitable thing was Taylor met with the families. And Taylor did
Hmm.
put out a statement about the misuse of her image in AI illustrations of her being a Trump supporter, and Taylor having to say, "Oh, that's not true." So even though Taylor has made these clear, or at least made her stance easy to understand, more spectators and onlookers want more and more and more and more and more from her to the point where she can't even win or lose with
I don't know if you
anyone.
can see me, but on my end, you're frozen.
Oh, I can move just fine.
Okay, there you go.
So as I was saying, even though Taylor Swift has made her stance clear, or at least visible, or at least easy enough to understand, people from both sides want more and more and more and more from her. They want her to say more, but it's gone to a point where she she can't please anyone. There's no winning with her.
She's in a tough spot, that's for sure. Um, yeah, I could understand how scary that would be to hold that much weight and then to have threats against your fans and it feels like your responsibility. I do wish she would say something. I really do. She said a few things here and there. Um, I also know she's like the biggest pop star in the world, and I have no idea what that feels like. So,
Travis Kelsey might have a feel for it, but
he might.
my father and my sister both noticed that Taylor hasn't gone to his games as much, and if she has gone to his games, then it's on a very obscure. It's very obscure. Because
Okay.
she would practically be camouflaged when she goes to the stadiums where he's playing a football game.
Oh, wow.
Like I think I saw an image of a bulletproof wall being put behind a pathway, and people assumed that Taylor was walking behind it. So it's an extra layer of protection for her.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Okay, since I think we have a bit of time, since we have a bit more time, I have an extra question. What do you think? How, what do you make of the backlash that Chappelle Roan had gotten over the security guard situation?
Yeah. Um, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. She said that she didn't know that her security guard even did that. And I've seen some videos that I agree with that she is a star that has set boundaries. And I think the media is trying to like take her down over that. And it feels a bit misogynistic.
They always take down female stars that are more firm with their boundaries and have limits on their interactions. Chapo is not the first one to have done it. Emma Watson said she won't take selfies with her fans for pretty much the same reason.
I didn't know that. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not very fair.
Agreed. Can playing and teaching piano be a form of resistance?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that doing things that you love and bring you joy is very important in this time, and it will keep us going to fight the good fight so we don't burn out.
Gotta stay fearless.
Gotta stay fearless.
It's the era of my shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, okay. I love it.
And last but not least, because I think we have 6 minutes left before you have to get ready for work, how important is family to you?
Family is very important to me. Um, yeah, the people that I care about, my family or my close friends, I care about very deeply. I'm very protective of them. Um, and yeah, they're very, very important to me. Yeah, how about you?
They're valuable to me as well. My mother and my sister, especially.
Yeah,
Does your father still teach at, does your father still teach?
he sure does.
Tough,
Yeah.
tough guy.
Did you ever have him as a teacher?
I don't think so, but I saw him around a lot.
Yeah.
I go swimming at the Winstead YMCA almost every weekend. I see people from the swim team I don't recognize because they're the younger generation, and I'm certain that your father teaches some of them.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. Yeah. Do you have any fun plans for the weekend? I know you're going to be house sitting. Do you guys have a No Kings rally on Saturday?
If
In
I did, I probably would miss. If we did, I'd probably be forced to miss it. However, I am going with my mother and my brother's former significant other to the Bushnell Theater in Hartford to see a symphony orchestra performance.
Ooh, that sounds cool. Sounds really fun.
Have you heard of that theater?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a nice one.
The architecture is beautiful.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fun.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Then on Sunday, I hope to go to Barnes& and Noble to get a new book.
cool. Are you reading any good books lately?
Right now, other than reading Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, I've been reading the Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novels that took place after this series ended. Right now, I'm on the search, but I'm looking to get the next one just so I'm ahead on my reading.
Cool.
Is that all the time we have?
Just about, yeah, I have to be at work at 2, so might be good for me to go eat some lunch before I have to head there.
Gotcha. I'll leave you to it, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in. You can check out my main channel at my Unsplash portfolio, TikTok, Instagram, etc. So I'll see you around. Bye.
Bye.
Go.